Pokemon Emerald Rogue, as the title suggests, is a Pokemon roguelike game. The path to victory is procedurally generated and the Pokemon you encounter are somewhat randomized. Oh, and if you lose one of your Pokemon, they're gone forever. Now, I've already beaten a handful of adventures, which is what the individual runs are called, but in the game's quest log, there's a whole section of achievements that you can get if you beat a whole adventure with only one type. And seeing as my previous monotype adventure was a pretty fun one, I decided to take on this challenge too. In some of my previous adventures in Emerald Rogue, I developed a great bond with a particular Pokemon, and because of this Pokemon, I chose ground types as the center point of this run. Please welcome Groudon as our starter for our adventure. Now, you might want to rush down to the comments and say, hey, Groudon is a legendary, that's unfair, you'll easily beat everything. And to that I say, just wait for some of the Pokemon that we have to fight. Groudon and I embark on our adventure together. He's been feeling lonely in this party of one and would really like to have some friends to show off his powers to. On the first route, we instantly find some earthly companions that we can add to the squad. Swinub and Drillbur. Knowing that finding ground-type Pokemon is going to be quite the task, I opt to pick up 2 of each. After doing the necessary prep for our battle against the first mighty trainer, we step into the arena where we get to face Chuck, the Johto fighting-type gym leader, as our first test of strength. But as I started this run out with a level 19 Groudon, we easily overpowered Chuck's Croagunk, Meditite, and Mienfoo with 3 simple Earth powers. So far, so good, but it wasn't going to be this easy every time. I knew that, and Groudon knew that. It was only a matter of time before we started fighting Pokemon at Groudon's strength. On our second run through of the map, we sadly encounter no new ground-type Pokemon, so we have to rely on our friend Groudon and the 2 Drillbur and Swinub in the back. This time we are on an even playing field with the Gym Leader though, as we've stuck to the level cap of 25 now. Gym Leader 2 is one half of the most feared twins of the Hoenn region, Lisa, Tate's sister. Luckily, Lisa's power is severely limited with our twin by her side. She does have a Uxie, which causes some problems for our team and gets Groudon to low health. I opt to switch in both Drillbur to take care of the mythical Pokemon, but unfortunately, they can't finish the job, so Swinub comes in and is able to whittle it down with Ice Shards and burn damage. The final Pokemon on Lisa's team is Inkay, and gets easily defeated by Drillbur's Dig. Things are looking a little tighter in this battle already. With 2 badges in our pocket, we should really look for some strong ground Pokemon now. On the third run of the map, we encounter Numel, Phanpy, and Diglett, who all get added to our team, the latter of the 2 replacing the weakest Drillbur and Swinub. Thanks for your service, guys. While going through the routes, all of our Pokemon managed to level up and evolve. Our team is looking a lot stronger now with these evolved Pokemon on our side. We make haste for Gym Leader 3, which we find out is Misty. Ash Ketchum's OG friend sends out Dugong, and I once again lead with my companion Groudon, setting up Harsh Sunlight with its Drought ability. 2 Brick Breaks is enough to take it out, as its brine is weakened due to sun. This setup is doing wonders. An Earthquake destroys the Slowpoke that was only just sent out by Misty, and out comes Golduck. The duck outlives the massive damage from Earthquake, but isn't strong enough to withstand Groudon's power in the long run. Seaking is Misty's final Pokemon, but yet again, Groudon manages to utterly destroy it in a heartbeat. 3 badges down, 5 to go. Things are looking good. We explore some more routes on the way to the 4th mighty trainer. We encounter a Shellos, and while it's not a ground type yet, its evolution Gastrodon is. A water type can definitely add some much needed diversity to our team. Dugtrio gets replaced by the Pink Slug, and not much later, a Mudsdale joins the team over Donphan. It was a tough decision, but I knew that it was the right choice to make at this time. At the end of this run through, we managed to find a little rest stop where our ever stronger growing team can have a rest and we can prepare for the next fight. I managed to teach Piloswine ancient power through the move tutor on this island, and with this move in his arsenal, Piloswine is able to evolve into his final form, Marmoswine. Our team is looking strong and feels kind of unbeatable right now. We prep some more and head into the arena for our 4th gym battle. This time, it's Bugsy. He opens up with Yanmega, and I start the battle as usual with my trusty sidekick Groudon. Yanmega stands no chance to a powerful sun-boosted Lava Plume. Araquanid is out next. The Water Bug Pokemon is able to just withstand a Thunder Punch from Groudon, but gets knocked out at the next turn. Pheromosa comes out, and I switch in my newly acquired Gastrodon. After the opposing Pheromona misses its bounce, Gastrodon easily takes care of it with a 4 times effective Hidden Power Flying. Groudon comes back in and easily takes care of Pinsir and Kricketune, which are Bugsy's last 2 Pokemon. 4 gym badges means we're officially halfway through the gym trainers. We continue to explore some more routes and try to pick up as many items as possible. We battle some trainers to get some money from them, but not all of them, as we don't want to be taking unnecessary risks and potentially losing our Pokemon in the process. And I just accidentally ran into a Team Magma Grunt, who opens with Reshiram? Oh no. Groudon gets sent out, but is still on low HP from previous battles. Luckily, because of our level difference, Groudon is able to take out the other legendary on the field with an Earthquake. Darmanitan isn't a big deal, and the final Pokemon on his team is... Darkrai? What is happening? Luckily for us, Groudon shows off his incredible strength and diverse moveset by one-shotting the mythical Pokemon with Brick Break. That could have turned out much worse. We need to be more careful. We use the Mart Stop to sell our items for some extra cash in case we need it later to buy some useful items to aid us in our battles. There are still a decent chunk of mighty trainers left to battle. Speaking of which, Norman is gym leader number 5. He leads Slacking, which seems dangerous at first, but Groudon is able to easily set up with bulk ups and proceeds to take out every single Pokemon on his team with a single Brick Break. Oh, except for Regigigas, who survives on 1 HP, but doesn't deal any significant damage to me anyway. Wow, at this point, I feel like Groudon can sweep this whole thing. We haven't had a Pokemon die yet, and Groudon has been the absolute MVP of this run so far. Surely nothing can go wrong anymore. Foreshadowing. I'm foreshadowing? We move on blissfully with not a care in the world to conquer some new routes and maybe try and see if I can get some even stronger Pokemon for our team. I run into some encounters, but sadly none have a ground typing. On this occasion, we take our time to properly prepare for the upcoming battle against the next mighty trainer. I give Groudon an Adamant Mint, which changes his nature to give him even stronger physical attacks. On top of that, I use the move tutors on this rest stop islands to improve the movesets of our team. Not gonna lie, I'm feeling kind of unstoppable right now. In the arena awaits Pryce, the Johto Ice-type specialist. Delibird gets easily taken care of by Groudon with Thunder Punch. Mamoswine is out second for Pryce, but it outlives a Brick Break. The Mammoth hits a Blizzard, taking down almost half of Groudon's HP. It's time to be careful now. Another Brick Break finishes off the Mamoswine, and out comes Arctozolt, who gets annihilated by Earthquake. The following Darmanitan dies to a simple sun-boosted Fire Punch. But as the turn ends, I don't realize that the harsh sunlight fades away. And when Regice joins the battlefield, I naively command Groudon to hit another Fire Punch. It connects, but doesn't kill. Luckily for us, Regice uses Lock-On and allows us to finish it off and win the battle against Pryce. I honestly wouldn't know what I would do without Groudon at this point. On the next run-through, we only have to pass one route and a rest stop. So on the route filled with misty terrain, I decide to level up my team on wild Pokemon and not battle any trainers anymore, as it would just be too risky at this point. The rest stop gives us an opportunity to stock up on some healing items that could prove to be useful in the future. Our team is strong enough at this point that we can confidently walk into the arena for our 7th battle against a mighty trainer. This time, Johto Ghost Leader Morty stands in our way. He opens with Gengar, and we obviously lead with Groudon setting up Harsh Sunlight. Gengar is faster and does some damage with Dark Pulse, but one Earthquake is enough to kill the Gengar. Its Cursed Body ability does make it so that Groudon can't use Earthquake anymore. Decidueye is out next, but gets easily taken down by a sun-boosted Fire Punch. Blacephalon comes out third, and after I switch to Gastrodon to tank its attacks, I get my mind blown by the Ultra Beast. Even with a not very effective hit, it does more than half of my HP. As a drawback, the attack took away half of its health too, so in my mind there's no way that it would use that attack again and killing itself in the process. Right? Well, it did, and Blacephalon sacrifices itself to take down my Gastrodon. Maybe I was getting overconfident. Let's just make sure this one death doesn't spiral into more. I bring back Groudon onto the field because that's what I feel safe with, and Morty sends out Lunala. Both Pokemon are able to tank some hits from each other, but Groudon shows who's the real boss in this battle. 3 Earthquakes take it out, and out comes Hooper Confined. Luckily, the mythical Pokemon has poor defense stats and can be taken out easily. Lurking in the back was Golurk, but has to be sent out as the last Pokemon for Morty. It's luckily not strong enough to beat up a beloved starter and gets taken out to give us our 7th gym badge. Our first death feels rough, but we have to move on, for the sake of Gastrodon. In search for a replacement for Gastrodon, we enter a route looking similar to Victory Road. Surely we can find a worthy replacement here. Sadly, we find only rock and no ground types, until... we catch the Graveler and add it to our team. She won't heal our broken hearts caused by the loss of Gastrodon, but I'll make sure to not let this boulder of sturdy rocks die on my watch. Not long after exploring the rest of the Victory Road route, we have to fight a mandatory trainer. It's a school kid who has an Eternatus? Wait, what? Okay, let's not freak out now. Let's just make sure we beat this one. Earthquake from Groudon does massive damage, and it sends Eternatus into a spiral of recovering slightly less HP than Earthquake deals. So we're able to take it out and move on to the second Pokemon. I can't imagine what type of monstrous creature this school kid has in store for us. Oh. It's just a Pachirisu. That's not too bad. We just take it out and Thunderous? We tactically switch to Excadrill to set up with Swords Dance and take it out with Rock Slide. Luckily, this school kid only has a Dustox as her final Pokemon. But man, this could have been so much worse. We get to a proper rest stop and make sure to get well prepared for the 8th and final gym leader of this adventure. Erica, Kanto's grass-type gym leader, is our opponent for this final gym leader fight. She leads with Leafeon, and I send in Groudon, who's ready to decimate these grass-type with sun-boosted fire punches. The first fire punch hits, but leaves the grass evolution on a minuscule bit of HP. It retaliates with a super effective Leaf Blade, but isn't strong enough to do damage worth worrying about. Another fire punch kills off the Leafeon. Next up is Venusaur. I opt to choose for Earthquake, as I thought it would deal more damage than Fire Punch. Venusaur lives the attack on a tiny bit of HP, and because of the harsh sunlight is able to use Solar Beam without charging up. Groudon dies due to a complete oversight by me. I forgot the harsh sunlight was active and therefore Solar Beam wouldn't need a turn to charge. I forgot the damage boost that fire moves receive would make Fire Punch a stronger attack than Earthquake and therefore taking out the Venusaur. It was my fault. I wasn't careful enough with the one Pokemon that carried us through this entire run so far. I can't believe that this is how it ends for Groudon. A simple oversight, a dumb mistake, and now he's gone. I have to move on. I have to avenge him, or else this whole journey would have been for nothing. I send out Camerupt to clean up the mess. A single flamethrower finishes off the Venusaur. The Executor that comes out stands no chance either. Blossom then scares us by setting up with Quiver Dance, but before it can unleash any power, Camerupt takes it out. Erica's Tangrowth stands no chance to Camerupt's Fiery Frenzy. It's as if Groudon's death has awakened a strength in our team. They too want to keep Groudon's spirit alive and choose to use their power to beat Erica's grass Pokemon. Parasect is the last one out, and also gets annihilated by Camerupt's Flamethrower. 8 badges. Time to go towards the Elite Four and Champion. But what does it even mean to beat this adventure without Groudon, our beloved partner who stood by us for the whole journey? On our continuation of our journey, we see that we have the option to visit Professor Birch's lab. I guess we'll visit him to tell him the bad news, but before I can even utter a single word, we just get Groudon back? Cool, that's awesome. Thanks, Birch, for reviving him. Welcome back, friend. Let's make sure you don't die again this time. I head into a dungeon where a Team Aquagrunt and a legendary Pokemon await us. The Aquagrunt is no big deal for our revived Groudon, and on top of that, the legendary encounter is a Zygarde, which is part ground type. After a bit of back and forth, we get lucky and catch it in an Ultra Ball. Welcome to the team, Zygarde. Graveler makes way for our new team member, and we thank her for her short service in this team. After the Zygarde catch, we have no rest stops to properly prepare for the first Elite Four trainer. So we heal everyone up, teach Zygarde some better moves, and go in hoping for the best. Karen, the Dark-type Elite Four from the Indigo Plateau, is our opponent. Pangoro is the first Dark-type to be destroyed by Groudon's Earthquake. Morpeko is the second. Houndoom gets taken out by a Brick Break, and so does Tyranitar. The 5th Pokemon on Karen's team is a Darkrai. We've seen one before that scared us a bit, but this one tries setting up with Nasty Plot and just survives on minimal health after a Brick Break. The Sandstorm caused by Tyranitar takes away Darkrai's final bit of HP. As her last Pokemon, Karen sends out Malamar. But the little damage dealt by Psycho Cut is not enough to scare off Groudon, who deals with it very easily. Groudon is back, baby. In the next run through, we have no real reason to take the upper path, so we just visit the rest stop and do some proper preparations. Here we can spend the money that we've accumulated over all of the runs. I buy a Mega Stone for Camerupt, so we're able to Mega Evolve her, and we teach Zygarde the move 1000 Arrows to be able to hit potential flying types with a ground move. We quickly move on and see that the next mighty trainer is Elite Four Koga. Koga. The Poison-type specialist leads Ariados, but Groudon takes simple care of it. Dragalge is out next and gets taken out in only 2 turns, after which his Vileplume dies to a Fire Punch. But then, we meet the second Eternatus of the run. The first one we got lucky and we put it into a spiral of dealing more damage than it could recover, and that's exactly what we did to Koga's one. Nidoking and Queen round off Koga's team, and Groudon uses its incredibly powerful Earthquake attack to take them both down. It's actually kind of crazy how Groudon has served as a lifeline for this run. I have no idea how he would have done this without him. We're nearing the end now, and I decide to test my luck at one of the dungeons where strong Pokemon reside. And to my surprise, we actually encounter a ground type, and a good one too. Swampert joins the team after throwing a single Quick Ball and replaces Mudsdale, who's just been enjoying the ride from the back at this point. While prepping for the third Elite Four battle, I make sure to teach Swampert some good moves to make him another unstoppable force in our team. One thing I find so nice is that we've managed to keep both Excadrill and Mamoswine alive for the entire adventure. They were literally the first Pokemon we caught all the way at the start. I'm glad they were able to stick around for the long run. Now we should finish the job with them here too. The third of the Elite Four mighty trainers goes by the name of Lance. We know him as one of the best, if not the best, dragon tamer in the Pokemon universe. It's time to wake up and do it right. He leads Kingdra, and I do massive damage with an Earthquake from Groudon. Not quite dead, the Kingdra uses Agility to become faster than Groudon, and use a weakened Hydro Pump on the next turn. It does some damage, but not enough to cause any concern. Kingdra goes down, and out comes Alolan Exeggutor. A Fire Punch deals significant damage and leaves it with a burn, but then Exeggutor unleashes a powerful Leaf Storm onto Groudon, taking away every single point of HP he has left. And for the second time this run, we have to say goodbye to our partner, our run carrier, this time for real. There's no time to dwell on what's happened, we need to move on, and so we opt to Mega Evolve Camerupt and take out the Exeggutor. Moltres is Lance's third Pokemon, but a legendary Pokemon doesn't mean anything when it has a 4x weakness to Rock Slide. Lance's signature Pokemon Dragonite is out next, and tries setting up with Dragon Dances, with success as Rock Slide from Camerupt fails to connect. A second Rock Slide does hit, but doesn't manage to take out the Dragonite. It uses Outrage and does massive damage to Camerupt. But luckily, one more Rock Slide manages to take out the dragon. Articuno comes out, and I switch to Swampert to make sure I can tank the ice moves by it. As suspected, I tank an incoming Ice Beam and use Brick Break to do some damage. The Ice Bird heals up with Roost and therefore loses its flying typing. This way I can hit it with super effective Brick Breaks while it tries to regain HP. A final Earthquake seals the deal for Articuno, and out comes Lance's final Pokemon, Charizard. Yeah, Swampert easily takes it out and we move on, leaving Lance crying in a corner somewhere. The final Elite Four members on the menu to be devoured by our team, but it's without our beloved Groudon. It was our main goal to take Groudon from the starting line all the way to the end, but I guess fate decided otherwise. For Groudon's sake, we have to move on and avenge him for all he has done for us. We'll beat the champion and finish off what we came here to do. Beat Pokemon Emerald Rogue with only ground types. In our way is only one more Elite Four member and a champion. Let's do this. We make the choice of taking the top route, as it has the best opportunity for an encounter and a potential replacement for Groudon. Even though no one can actually replace him, having a party of 6 is a lot nicer than a party of 5. The top route has nothing for us, but the strong encounter dungeon shows off a Sandaconda, another ground type just thrown into our arms. A Quick Ball catches the ground snake and adds it to the team. After some quick prep, we move on to the final Elite Four member, Glacia. The Ice Queen of Hoenn starts the battle with Frostlass. I'm leading Zygarde, but being 4x weak to ice moves isn't optimal, so he makes way for Swampert, who luckily doesn't need to tank an ice move because Frostlass sets up Hail. While I select Earthquake to hit Frostlass with some real damage, I get blindsided and it hits me with a Destiny Bond. Swampert's power takes out the Frostlass, but gets taken down with it in the process. I'm so sorry you couldn't be with us for longer, Swampert. You could have been a great asset for the team. I send out Camerupt and Mega Evolve to hit Dewgong with a Rock Slide. Dewgong is faster and does massive damage, but Camerupt survives and takes it out. Glacia sends out Arctofish, and I switch into my own ice type, Mamoswine. The Ice Fish does some big damage, but I'm able to use the full restores we got a while back to keep healthy. A final Earthquake takes out Arctofish, but Mamoswine is really low on HP now. Glacia shows off her Kyurem, and I start panicking a bit. What are my options here? I opt to heal Mamoswine and tank the incoming Blizzard. We barely live another attack from the legendary Pokemon, but because we outspeed, we can take it out with another Earthquake. Max Potions and full restores are saving my run right now as I heal up Mamoswine again. An Earthquake takes out the Vanillux and also Glacia's last Pokemon, Ninetales. 4 Elite Four members have been defeated. I only need to defeat the champion now. There's only one path I see that could lead to a 6th party member, but it means we have to close a dark deal. I gained the Shedskin charm, which grants me the opportunity to lose status conditions in battle, but also get cursed with a Shuffle Curse. Any held item my Pokemon are holding will be shuffled around my party, so choosing strategic items for my Pokemon won't be an option for this champion battle. I can't even Mega Evolve Camerupt now. We check out our only encounter, but sadly it's not a ground type and we have to move on. I do some final prep at the rest stop, but the only thing that can bring us to victory right now is outplaying the champion. No turning back now. I walk into the champion's room, and I see that the champion of this adventure is Blue from Kanto. He leads Slowking into battle, and I lead Zygarde. We back and forth a little bit, but Zygarde takes the edge over Blue Slowking. Moltres comes out next, and because Thousand Arrows is a ground type move that can hit flying types, it's super effective against Moltres. It lives one hit, and does some damage back with Hurricane, but can't outlive a second wave of 1,000 arrows. When Vileplume is sent out, I know I can't stay in, so I choose to switch into Camerupt, who's become another absolute staple of this team. A single flamethrower destroys Vileplume and out comes Gengar. Blue's 4th Pokemon is faster than my Camerupt and gets off a single Dark Pulse, which brings Camerupt down to 1/3 of her health. Gengar easily dies to an Earthquake though, but yet again the ability Cursed Body disables my Earthquake attacks. So when Arcanine comes out, I need to switch out. Sandaconda takes Camerupt's place and makes sure the Arcanine doesn't have a single chance to harm our team. Blue's final Pokemon, the Pokemon in between us and a champion's title, is Clefable. At first, it doesn't seem too scary, so I use Glare to paralyze it. But then, I get brutally reminded of Metronome, a move so random, so volatile that it could end the run right here if we're unlucky. On this first occasion, it hits Sandaconda with Nightshade, doing exactly 100 HP of damage. I hit an Earthquake for significant damage, and for some reason Clefable uses Minimize instead of another Metronome. But because of the Minimize, my Earthquake misses. Surely it won't go wrong at the last second. Clefable uses Minimize again. But alas, my Earthquake hits and therefore ends Blue's reign as a champion of this adventure. Well fought, Dez. You show great skill and prowess the way you battle alongside your Pokemon. And with that said, I hereby declare you a Pokemon champion, is what I would have said. I'm afraid another battle awaits you before you may be bestowed that title. Good luck. So our adventure isn't over yet, it seems. There is one more trainer left. One more champion to defeat. Who is the mighty trainer that comes after Blue? Of course, it had to be. It's Red. Red opens the battle with Cloyster. Camerupt comes out on our side and absolutely obliterates Red's first Pokemon with a single flamethrower. Out next is legendary Pokemon Ho-Oh, but as it is a flying fire type, Camerupt can easily take it out with a Rock Slide, but not after Ho-Oh sets up a future sight. Pokemon number 3 is Dragonite, who uses Dragon Dance to make this battle way scarier than it needs to be. During Dragonite's hot moves, I hit it with a Rock Slide for about half of its health, but the following outrage from Dragonite almost one-shots my Camerupt. We can't lose her now, we're too close. Luckily we take our Dragonite with another Rock Slide. Red sends out Amoonguss, but out of nowhere the Future Sight attack finishes off our poor Camerupt, and we're down to 4 Pokemon. Mamoswine comes up and uses Ice Fang to take out the Amoonguss in one shot. Is it gonna happen? Are we actually going to win? Volcarona is the penultimate Pokemon we need to fight. I switch to Zygarde to tank an attack and do massive damage with 1,000 arrows. We outlive another attack and manage to take out the Volcarona with another 1,000 arrows. Red is down to his last Pokemon. We're so close. I can taste the finish line. Red sends out Shedinja. I get scared for a second because what if I can't hit it? But then I realize Zygarde knows Toxic and Shedinja goes down without a struggle. Red surrenders in defeat, and we get to have one final victory lap by registering our party in the Hall of Fame. Camerupt, who sadly didn't make it to the end, does make it into the Hall of Fame, and so do the other 4 Pokemon. And even though we don't have our starter Groudon with us right now, we do have his very first friends he made on this adventure. Mamoswine and Excadrill joined us right at the start and were able to sit out the entire run to make it to the end alive. Congrats guys, you might be the true legendaries. I really hope you enjoyed the story of my ground-type mono-run and Emerald Rogue. If you're still watching this video right now, you've definitely enjoyed it, so why not give it a like? It really helps me out a lot. And if you're looking for more mono-type runs to watch, go and binge my 3-part series on Pokemon Altered Emerald that I tried beating with only grass types. See you there.